Today we're going to look at Imagine Reading. It's a program for grades 3 to 8. We'll focus on the middle school level tonight. You will access it going through your Clever portal. The app looks like this. It has a little girl, she's reading. You're going to click on that. It'll automatically sign you into the Imagine Reading, actually the Imagine portal, and you'll pick Imagine Reading at that point. When you get in, you can look at the unit library. So when I click on unit library, I have this that comes up. I'm going to pick my grade level. So I'm going to focus on 8th grade because I was an 8th grade teacher. And I'm going to look at some of the components, things that I might want to do with my class. So I think I'm going to focus on my first lesson, Life in Latin America. Just with our immersion students, that might be an interesting one. So I click in there. And I'm going to jump over to the quick guide really quickly. The focus of all the Imagine Reading lessons goes around a focus question. Then they work on a power sentence lesson. And then they go into independent close reading on several articles or passages. And then you talk with a classroom discussion. And then it just cycles again and again until the end of all of the reading. And you are in the synthesis group project, which they come together. They create something based on what they've learned. Let's go back to that unit library. So it gives you a unit overview. It talks about the focus question. And here's all of that close reading that's going to be going on independently. And then you have some discussion questions with the class. So let's go and look at the focus question. When you go in, it gives you the ability to print out the focus question if you like. It gives you the ability to play some music or the video, depending on what they're offering. And it says in here, the focus question for this unit is, in what ways is the richness of Latin American culture the product of many diverse influences? So basically, they are just coming up with ideas based on what they've learned. We're just tapping into that previous knowledge. And then you can actually grade on what they responded. And they do have a rubric. It's a pretty basic one. It's saying, okay, you don't get any points because you were off topic. And if it's acceptable, then it demonstrates the comprehension of what you're talking about. When you go into each of these reading cycles, they have the overview. So this is what the teacher can see. We can see how many students have finished it, what we need to do for the grading. We can click on some of the discussion questions. We can even view the lesson that talks about power sentences. I'm going to preview the passage. When the students go in, they have the opportunity, and you can print it as a teacher, they have the opportunity to use these.
Family life in Mexico.
So if they need it to be read to them, then they can. Also, they do have some videos that go with the text as you're going along. So they'll have some comprehension or some close reading questions as they're going through. And when you go through, they have the ability to read the passages as well. So when they're going through, they're actually getting some questions as they are reading the passage. And then at the very end, they'll have a few questions as well. Then if you look, they have another section. So the students are going to be continuously doing this cycle until the very end. And then in the end, you have some discussion questions that you might do with your students in class, or you could be doing it ahead of time. You could be doing it during, and you could use things like your Google Classroom, different venues in which you can use these discussion questions. You could do it asynchronously or synchronously. And then also they do have a project at the end. So we'll look at the paperwork for the project. It gives a purpose of the project, and then it'll give some ideas down here on what they can do. It gives you ideas for differentiation. So there's a lot of ways that you can use Imagine Reading to really supplement, really create an atmosphere of close reading, and really push your students.